Well, I'm joined now by Robert Spitzer. He is a distinguished service professor at the State University of New York College at Cortland, and he also serves as chair of the Political Science Department. Robert, on this very sad occasion, welcome to the program. I heard on NPR this morning, National Public Radio here, that Columbine really was the end of the age of innocence, that it has become a byword for school shootings. Do you agree with that?
I do think that's right, although there were mass shootings, including school shootings, before Columbine. But it was a seminal moment because of the profound impact it had on society, because of the way governmental leaders responded, although ultimately not successfully at the national level, because of the way policing changed, the way school security changed. So people saw, in many respects in their daily lives and in the lives of their children and in the lives of students, how changes began to occur after Columbine, and we became much more aware of these kinds of shootings, and of course there have been a number of terrible shootings since Columbine.
Yeah, limited changes to gun laws here. We'll get onto that in just a second, but I understand from Henrik Seibrandi, who did that report and who was there 20 years ago, that there have been some changes to the way that students are protected when they're at university and at high school. Can you just talk to that for a little bit?
There very much has been a profound change how school institutions, both public schools and colleges and universities, have changed. They're much more security conscious. The training of local police or campus university police has changed significantly. On our college campus, on most college campuses around the country, you see security cameras. Same thing true in public schools. Public schools are much more conscious of keeping doors locked and keeping only one main entrance for people to come and go from, so they can have a sense of the traffic in and out of the schools. Institutions engage in drill activity, in practice activity, to prepare for the unlikely possibility, but still a possibility that a mass shooting event could occur. And there's simply more awareness of these kinds of things and security concerns. And indeed, in part, this is because the government has funneled a great deal more money into devices, into policing, into education, and other means by which people can be more well prepared, can forestall these kinds of attacks and deal with them.
Now, in the wake of Dunblane, which is in Scotland, and Tasmania, which is in Australia, in 1996, both of those events occurred, and more recently in Christchurch, New Zealand, gun laws were changed by the politicians substantially to basically ban semi-automatic weapons. I realize this is a huge question, but briefly, can you explain to our viewers why does that simply not happen here in America?
Well, there's a couple of important reasons. One reason is because those nations have a parliamentary style of government where a single party is in control and they can generally enact major policy change, especially when there's an upswell of public support for it. In addition, America has far more guns per person than those nations do. Some of those nations, Australia, New Zealand, even Canada, have a gun tradition, but it is not as widespread, not as politically distorted, I would say, than as the American system is. And it's simply more difficult, given our divided political system and separation of powers, to act decisively and in a short space of time after an event like this happens, when indeed most Americans favor the enactment of those laws. Although I will say there have been other kinds of changes.
Well, you've made that very clear. Professor Spitzer, thank you very much for joining us from the State University of New York. Thank you very much.